Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. In our next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about women's health. I'm here with Suzette Simon. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to talk to Atlanta because, especially since Atlanta's traffic is so legendary and breast health is the same way. The earlier you start, the better your odds of getting to where you need to go, Atlanta.
I love that. I love that analogy. We all feel like, are we doing enough to keep ourselves healthy? Breast health is one of those things that some of us only think about every 2 years when we get that mammogram. What do you want people to know?
No, that's not the way to do it. The thing is, the most important thing about when it comes to breast health is that you have to be on top of your health. You have to know your body. You have to know your baseline. So that means that, ladies, you got to get busy with yourself every month. The moment you get breast, even as a teen, you should have your pediatrician and your parent come together and show you how to do breast self exams because Black women die younger. It's got me so concerned. It's like, like when we get to heaven, are we going to be able to get into the wine bars and the happy hours? No, because we die so young. It's like by the time the guidelines are that you are supposed to get mammograms at the age of 40, but by that time for many Black women, cancer is so advanced. So you just need to be on top of it. You need to, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, it's the biggest, I think, misnomer out there is that it's just about mammograms. Like everybody's like, get your mammogram. No, it's like you need to know your body. You need to know the changes in your body because it's more than just a lump. It can be skin, it could be discoloration, it could be differences in your breast, it could be soreness, it could be redness, it could be leaky. So you just need to check yourself every month, check yourself and correct yourself. And the thing is, one of the things too, I want people to know as well, and men should know this, or your partner should know this, is that many partners also discover breast cancer in their partners. So people, it is at least if you do breast self exams, at least once a month you're gonna get busy. You're gonna get some. So you need to schedule it in. It's so important. That's what I want people to know. That's what I want people to know.
It is so important. And I gotta say, unfortunately, we don't talk about it. It's one of those kind of scary things that hovers over us. Everybody knows somebody who's had breast cancer, but we don't talk about it. But when we have someone like you who allows us to be free and open and opens the door to that conversation, it makes it a little easier for us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing something that's completely different by using comedy, but it's still very hard sometimes for people to accept and to be on other interviews when I with other people because they don't quite understand. In fact, my friends are like, how can you do this? And my family's like, it's a little bit disrespectful, especially since I've named them Venus and Serena. But why not? Because they're great at doubles, they know how to bounce back. So yeah. And the one that had cancer, actually I call that one Serena because that one is GOAT. And you know what GOAT stands for in Atlanta? The greatest of all tatas.
You know what? Using comedy to help us get over the hump of having these conversations, I don't see a problem with it. We need to talk. We need to get in the space where we recognize how important this is. And if that's your venue to do it, I'm all about it.
No, true, because my mom died 30 years ago from breast cancer. And when she was lying on a gurney in a public hospital, waiting for hours and hours for a room to become available, I walked away just briefly, just a few seconds, and someone had stolen her wig. And at that point, it wasn't even a wig, it was more like a Chewbacca toupee. And I was like, damn, people are desperate for weaves in Brooklyn. So it's like, so I have always tried to use comedy. Comedy keeps my spirits up. I do all sorts of things. I mean, I have these booby puppets that I have. I mean, one is when I put them together, one is this is baby boob and this one is oh my God, I got ginger boob and then I'm scary and so the three of us together are the spice boobs and then I also have to try to like I do all sorts of animations with these felt puppets. So this one is Harriet Boopman, Harriet Boopman, and this one is Rosa Peaks. And so together, they do all sorts of bouncing song parodies.
You know what? Whatever you have to do to keep the conversation going.
Exactly.
I can't let you get out of here then without giving us a website. Where can we follow you? Where can we get some tips about perhaps how to ease this into the conversation ourselves?
Yes, totally. You can follow me. My website, please sign up for me. My website is strongblackboobs.com, and then you can also follow me on Instagram at strongblackboobs on Instagram. And yeah, I would love support. I would love if there's anyone. I mean, I am an artist and I am also fiscally sponsored. So I mean, like any sort of donations, or I would love to be able to collaborate on humor, empathy, and advocacy, like with someone like Issa Rae or Kevin Hart, anyone that has a production company, Shonda Rhimes. I would love to be able to change the course of some of the disparities that people of color in general are facing through humor. So, a shout out to Tyler Perry, a shout out to someone out there who wants to work in trying to change the course of these numbers that Black people face. And
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for making
thank you.
time for us here in Atlanta. It was a pleasure to meet you.
It was a pleasure to meet you too, Keisha.
Thanks so much. All
Thank you,
right,
Linda.
ladies, there is no reason for us not to have the conversation. Sometimes it's a little scary, but sometimes, it's just a matter of life. And we just need to have the conversation, talk to the ladies in your life, and make sure that we're all using all of the tools that we have to have good breast health. And stay tuned to more Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back.